Welcome back to the confession room, the place where secrets are too heavy to carry alone. Tonight's story isn't just dark, it's chilling. This woman didn't make a mistake. She made a decision, a life-changing one. I know what I did, and I know what it makes me. Selfish, cruel, a monster. But it doesn't matter anymore, because every time I look at the little girl in my home, the one I now call my daughter, I feel peace. And every time I think about the one I gave away, I feel nothing. Not guilt, not regret, just relief. But maybe I should start from the beginning. I got pregnant at the worst time of my life. My husband, well, ex-husband now, had just lost his job. We were barely speaking. There were rumors about him cheating, and honestly, I didn't care enough to dig. We were roommates, not lovers. And then I found out I was pregnant. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't exciting. It was terrifying. He said all the right things. We'll get through this. It's a blessing. We needed something to bring us closer, but it was all a lie. He didn't want the baby. He didn't want me. And I knew that. The pregnancy was rough, sick every morning, crying every night. Sometimes, I'd sit on the bathroom floor and just stare at the wall, wondering if I could do it, if I even wanted to. The only thing that kept me going was the idea that maybe, just maybe, this baby would change something in me, heal me, make me feel like I belonged in the world again. But I was wrong. The day I gave birth, the pain was unbearable. But not from the contractions. It was the loneliness. My ex showed up late, didn't hold my hand, didn't look me in the eye. I delivered a baby girl at 2:17 a.m. She didn't cry at first, and for a moment I thought, she knew. She knew I wasn't meant to be her mother. But then she let out the tiniest sound, barely a squeak, and they said she was fine. But I wasn't. That same night, they moved us into the recovery ward. 4 beds, 3 other mothers, 3 other babies, all of them glowing, crying, cooing. And me? I felt nothing. Not joy, not sadness, just numb. Around 5 a.m., a nurse came in to check vitals. She wheeled our babies out to the nursery so we could rest. When I woke up again, I was alone in the room. Everyone else had gone home, except me, and a baby lying in the bassinet near my bed. She looked different. Her nose wasn't quite the same. Her hair was darker. The little ID tag on her wrist, still there. But I swear, it didn't say my name. It said another surname. For a second, I panicked. Thought maybe they'd made a mistake. I rang the bell, but no one came. So I picked her up, held her against my chest, tried to remember if this was the same weight, the same cry. She didn't feel like mine. And that's when the thought hit me. It started as a whisper. What if this baby had a better life ahead? What if she'd be loved in a way mine never would be? What if my baby, wherever she was already in the arms of someone better? And what if I didn't say anything? I walked down the hallway slowly. Nurses were busy. One was arguing with someone on the phone. Another had just spilled formula on the counter. It was chaotic. I peeked into the nursery. 4 babies, all lined up, all wrapped the same way. But I saw her, the one I thought was mine. She was just lying there, eyes closed, peaceful. I looked at the nurse nearest me. She was distracted, and in that moment, that quiet, terrifying, clear-as-glass moment, I switched the name tags. Mine for hers, hers for mine. No alarms, no cameras, no one noticed. When I walked back to my room, I was shaking, holding a baby that wasn't mine, a baby I chose. The next morning, the nurse brought in the discharge papers. She smiled, said, "She's beautiful. You're both lucky." I nodded, signed everything. And just like that, it was done. I left the hospital with a baby who wasn't mine, and no one said a word. The first few weeks at home were surreal. I kept waiting for a phone call, a knock on the door, someone from the hospital telling me there'd been a mistake, that they'd noticed something, that they'd matched the DNA, checked the wristbands, something. But nothing came, and slowly I stopped waiting. The baby I brought home, not mine by blood, she was different. She barely cried. She slept through the night by week 3. She'd stare up at me with these big, curious eyes. And for a moment, I'd forget what I'd done. I'd let myself believe she was always meant to be mine. I gave her a name I'd never picked out before. Not the one on my baby shower banner. Not the one I scribbled in the back of my journal 100 times during pregnancy. A new name. A clean slate. Like I was wiping away everything I didn't want to remember. My ex came around once or twice, held her awkwardly, pretended to care. But he knew. He knew something was off. He asked once, "She looks different, don't you think?" I shrugged, said babies change, said the lighting was bad, said, "What do you know about babies anyway?" He didn't push. He never did. 2 months later, he disappeared completely. No child support, no calls, not even a goodbye. And I didn't chase him. As the months turned into years, the guilt didn't disappear, but it morphed. It stopped being a scream in my head. It became a quiet hum, always there, like a second heartbeat. But then, on her 3rd birthday, something happened. We were at a park, just the two of us. She was on the swings, laughing. That loud, honest kind of laugh only kids can do. And I saw another little girl, same age, same curls, same nose I was born with. She was with a woman who looked tired, broken, worn in all the places I used to be. I froze, my throat went dry, and something in my gut twisted. I knew. I knew that was her, my baby, the one I gave away. I didn't approach, didn't say a word, but I followed them to their car. I wasn't proud of it, but I had to know. The license plate, the daycare sticker, even the peeling hospital parking permit on the dashboard. Everything confirmed it. That woman, she had my child, and I had hers. I drove home in silence that day, didn't turn on the radio, didn't check my phone. I just sat in the driveway with my hands gripping the steering wheel, like if I let go, everything would fall apart. Because in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't want my real daughter back. The girl I was raising, she was mine now. Not because of blood, not because of biology, but because of the moments. The scraped knees, the bedtime stories, the little lisp when she said spaghetti. I knew her laugh, her smell, her soul. And the other one, my real one, she was a stranger. I started dreaming about it, seeing both girls in the same room, watching them play. Then one of them would fall, bleed, cry out for mommy, and both would look at me, waiting to see who I'd run to first, and every time I ran to the wrong one, or maybe the right one. I went to therapy once, sat across from a woman with kind eyes. She asked me why I was there. I almost said it. It sat on the tip of my tongue like a splinter sharp and begging to be pulled out. But I lied, said I had postpartum depression, said I felt distant from my daughter. She nodded, scribbled something down, and gave me breathing exercises. The truth is, I don't know what kind of mother that makes me. Am I broken or just human? Is love something we're born into or something we choose? Because I chose her, not out of impulse, not by accident, but with full awareness. And the worst part is, every day I love her more. And every day I forget a little more about the one I left behind. There are nights when I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I'm living on borrowed time. What happens when the girls find out? When they're old enough to Google, to question, to notice the stories don't quite line up? What happens when they read this? Because I know I'm not the only one carrying the weight anymore. The other mother, she's carrying it too. We are bound not just by the daughters we swapped, but by the silence we swore to keep. People like to say the truth will set you free, but they never tell you that freedom can be lonely, terrifying. It's the kind of truth that doesn't just shift the ground under you. It turns your whole world upside down and dares you to keep breathing. I know what I did was unforgivable, but it wasn't senseless. It came from pain, from fear, from feeling like I had lost everything and needed something, someone to hold on to, something that would love me back. I thought I could make a clean break from the past. I thought a newborn baby could be a reset button. But babies don't erase grief. They amplify it. Sometimes when I watch her sleep, I whisper, I'm sorry. Not because she knows what I did, but because one day she will. And when that day comes, I don't know if she'll look at me with hatred or heartbreak. I've rehearsed the conversation in my head 1,000 times. How do you say to your daughter, I loved you so much, I lied to keep you, I stole you, and then gave you the best life I could? There is no script for that. And yet, every morning, she still calls me mom. Every night, she still kisses me goodnight. She trusts me. She loves me. And I will carry that miracle like a scar on my soul. Not all mothers are born through labor. Some are born through loss, through lies, through moments they can never take back. I am not proud of what I did, but I am not the same woman who did it. This is my truth. I switched my baby at the hospital, on purpose, and I have to live with that. Every single day. Maybe this confession is the beginning of something honest. Or maybe it's just a scream into the void, a way to feel less like a monster and more like a human being. But if you're hearing this, if you've made it to the end, then at least someone out there knows what really happened. And somehow, that makes me feel less alone. I didn't expect things to stay quiet forever. Secrets like mine, they rot over time. They start leaking through cracks, little signs, subtle shifts, and eventually someone always notices. It started with a doctor's appointment. My daughter had a mild allergy flare-up. The pediatrician asked about family history. I paused. I forgot what this girl's history was supposed to be. I said something vague, something like, oh, I think her dad's side had allergies. He nodded, but I saw the look, that flicker of something. Suspicion, maybe, or just professional curiosity. And it scared me. I started getting paranoid. I shredded every hospital document I had, deleted old photos, even removed her baby bracelet from the memory box. I buried it in the trash, under coffee grounds and eggshells, like it was radioactive, because to me, it was. Then the school enrollment forms came. Has your child ever had genetic testing? Are there any hereditary conditions we should know about? And again, I lied, because the truth wasn't just dangerous, it was fatal. One night or around Christmas, she asked me why we didn't have baby pictures of her. She had seen her friend's scrapbook. I felt like my throat was closing. I told her I lost them in a computer crash. She hugged me and said, that's okay, Mommy. I have lots of pictures now. And just like that, I cried in the laundry room for an hour. Not because she believed me, but because she trusted me. And then came the phone call. Private number. A woman's voice. Shaky. Quiet. Hi. I think our daughters might have been switched at birth, just like that. Like she had rehearsed it 1,000 times. My heart stopped. I didn't breathe. I didn't speak. I know how it sounds, she said. I've been struggling with it for years, but I saw your little girl at the park. And God, I know this sounds crazy, but she looks like me. And the one I raised, I love her more than anything. But she's not. She trailed off. I didn't deny it. I didn't confirm it. I just hung up. And then I locked myself in the bathroom because the walls were closing in. She called again the next day, and the next. I never answered. Then one day, she showed up. I was in the front yard watering the plants, and there she was, hands trembling, eyes red, holding a photo in her hand. It was my daughter, or her daughter. God, I don't even know anymore. She didn't shout, didn't accuse. She just said, please, I don't want to ruin anything. I need to know. We sat in silence on my porch. She told me her story, how she suspected the switch years ago, how she requested hospital records, how they were vague, inconsistent, how she tried to push it aside, but couldn't, and how, when she saw my daughter again, just once, something in her broke. She said, I won't take her from you. I swear. But I want to know the truth. For both of them. I stared at the ground, felt like a child being scolded by the universe. And finally, I nodded. We agreed to do a private DNA test. She said we could keep it quiet. No lawyers, no drama, no courtrooms, just clarity. And when the results came, I opened the email with shaking hands. 99.98% match. Her daughter was mine. My daughter was hers. We had been right all along. You'd think that would be the breaking point, the part where it all falls apart, but it wasn't. Something strange happened instead. We talked, a lot, about motherhood, about guilt, about the blurry line between biology and love, and we made a decision, together. We would tell the girls, one day, when they were older, when they were strong enough, not to rip them away from the lives they knew, but to give them the truth in the gentlest way possible. Until then, we became something else. Not friends, not enemies, something in between. Co-conspirators in a secret neither of us fully understood. Sometimes we meet at the park. The girls play together, laugh, swap snacks, call each other soul sisters, and neither of them knows. They were meant to grow up in each other's homes. Sometimes I wonder what kind of mother I would have been to that girl, and what kind of life mine would have had without me. But then I look at my daughter, at her smile, her stories, the way she throws her arms around me like I'm the only safe place she's ever known. And I know I chose wrong, but I loved right.